Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to create an amazing game which is rock paper scissors in Python from scratch. We are going to add different functionalities in this game and we'll try our level best to take this game on next level. So let's start building this game. Now rock paper scissors game is played between at least two players. Here you can be the first player and computer can be the second player. For making the computer to choose a particular move, we will import random library which is present inside Python. Now we will define some variables. First variable is computer score, which is initialized to 0. Obviously, before playing any game, the score will remain 0. Now with that, we'll also define user's score, which is nothing but the score of the player who is playing with the computer. Next we will define a variable which will be called as round. This particular round variable will keep a track of the number of iterations that are going to be performed in this particular game between the two players. Just for fun, before the game starts, we'll try to print some statements. Let's play rock paper scissors game. These statements will be printed in the terminal before the game starts. These statements will not only increase the excitement of the player, but the flow will also look good. Similarly, we'll define more statements like this. We can also use the time library and we can use the sleep function in this particular library, which will add a delay before printing the further statements. This particular sleep function from the time module takes an argument which specifies the total number of seconds after which the next lines will be executed. So I hope this particular thing is clear. Now we are done with printing all the statements that we want to before starting the game. You can see we are going to play 5 rounds in this particular game, and that is why we are specifying a while loop. The while loop will execute for 5 iterations. We have declared a variable called as round which was initialized to 0. This while loop will go until the round variable's value will become 5, and that is why we have specified while round is not equal to 5. Next, inside the while loop we are printing a statement which is nothing but the round which is currently going on. With the help of f strings we have defined the statement, and in that we have written round plus 1 because initially the round variable's value is 0 and round 0 doesn't make sense. That is why we have added 1 to it. After executing this particular statement, we are defining a variable called as computer's choice. Obviously computer is not human, and for letting the computer to make a choice, we are going to use the choice function that is present inside the random library. This choice function takes a list in which you have to specify the total number of options, and this choice function will choose one among them randomly. That random choice of the computer will be stored in the variable computer choice. Next we'll also define the user's choice. Now user is a human, that is why we don't have to use the random module. Instead we can use the input function to take the input from the user. Inside the input function we have written enter your choice. The user's choice will be taken as an input and it will be stored in the variable user's choice. Now the input can be in uppercase, it can be in camel case, or it can be in any other case. So to convert it into a standard case, we are going to use the .lower function which will convert the input string into lowercase. And after getting the choices from the computer as well as from the user, we are going to print this particular statement with the help of f string, and here we will now print both the choices, the computer's choice as well as the user's choice, just to make aware the player that what is the computer's choice. And that is why we have printed the user's choice as well as the computer's choice. Because of this, the user will be able to analyze whether the scores are calculated correctly or not. So I hope this thing is clear. Now once we have printed the choices of both the players, now we are going to specify all the conditions that this game uses. we are going to use if condition. Here the first condition is that if the computer's choice and user's choice, both choices are equal. When computer chose scissors and user also chose scissors, in this particular case, what to do? So obviously in this particular case, it's a tie. So in this particular condition, we are going to write the print statement that it's a tie, and we are going to provide 1 point to both the players. And that's what we are printing over here. But we have just printed it. We haven't stored or updated the scores of any of the players. So for updating it, we are going to write this particular statement now after printing this statement. Here we can write that computer's choice has to be incremented by 1 as well as the user's choice has to be incremented by 1. So that is why we have written computer choice plus equal to 1 and user's choice plus equal to 1. So whenever it's a tie between both the choices, then in that case both of them will get benefited by 1 point. If you carefully observe, here we have 3 choices. 3 choices can be made by computer as well as 3 choices can be made by the user. So in all, we can have total 9 combinations possible. Out of these 9 combinations, we can have 3 draws. That means 3 combinations are in such a way that it will be a tie. So for all 3 possibilities, we have written the code which will handle the situation when it's a tie. Now remaining 6 possibilities we have to specify in the form of conditions. So here comes the first condition where the computer choice is rock and the user's choice is scissor. In this particular case, if you know the game, whoever chooses rock between rock and scissor will win the game. That is why here if computer chooses rock, then computer will win 1 point. So the computer's score will be updated, the computer score will be incremented by 1 and user score will remain as it is. That is why we are not updating the user's score. I hope this condition is clear. Similarly, we can have the other condition. Let's copy this particular piece of code and make changes in it. Now in the second case, we are saying that computer chooses scissor and the player is choosing rock. As you know, whoever chooses rock from rock and scissor will win. Here user has chosen the rock. That is why user will win and plus 1 point will be benefited to the user. And that is why we are updating the user score by 1 and will keep the computer score as it is. I hope this particular condition is clear. Similarly, we can have more 4 conditions. Let's try to specify another condition. Let's use the same code and let's alter this particular code itself. In this particular case, we are saying that computer chooses rock and now the user chose paper. Now in this particular situation, if you know the game, whoever chooses paper between rock and paper will win. So that is why here user will win. And because user wins, in this case, we are going to update the score of user by 1 and we'll say that plus 1 score is benefited to the user. Similarly, let's define another condition. In this particular case, let's say that the computer chooses paper and now the user chose rock. So here in this case, the one who chooses paper will win. That is why we are going to write in the print statement that plus 1 score is benefited to the computer and will also increment the computer score variable's value by 1 with the help of the statement computer score plus equal to 1. Similarly, let's define another condition over here. Let's copy this particular code and paste it. Now in this particular situation, we are saying that computer chose scissor and user has chosen paper. Now if you know, in this particular situation, the one who chooses scissor between scissor and paper will win. That is why in this particular condition, the computer will win, so we'll update the score of computer. Similarly, we can have one more last condition where the computer will choose paper and the user will choose scissor. In this particular case, the user will win because user can cut computer's paper with the help of the scissor that they have. And that is why in this particular case, the user score will be updated by 1 and will print that user win and 1 point will be benefited to the user. So now we are done with writing all the conditions. Pause the video and just check whether we are left with any of the conditions. Now that we have written all the conditions, now let's write the further code. Don't forget that we are inside the while loop. Here we have to increment the variable round by 1 after every single iterations. This particular while loop will go for 5 iterations as there are total 5 rounds. Now once all the 5 rounds are done, we will be out of this while loop, and after the rounds are done, we are now supposed to print the results. So let's print the results. Here we are going to write the results in this particular format. Now in the results we are supposed to display the scores of each player. We are supposed to display the score of the computer as well as the score of the user. So let's write the user score first with the help of the print statement. We are using f strings, and in this we are writing your score means the user score, and we are going to print the value inside the variable user score which we have updated regularly after every round. Similarly, after that we are going to print the computer score, and we are going to specify the value of the variable computer score. So this is how we are going to print both the players' score. And once we print the scores of both the players, next we are going to make decisions according to the total scores of both the players. Obviously in this game, the one who has the highest score will win. So we'll specify the condition if the computer score is greater than the user's score. Now in this particular case, the computer will win. So let's convey the message to the user that you have lost the game. Now we'll also have to specify by what score you have lost the game. So for that we are going to subtract the score of the computer by the score of the user. So this is how we'll display the result to the user. Now this was the case when the computer score was high. What if the user score is high? So for that we are also going to specify the condition that if the computer score is lesser than the user score, which means the user has won, in that case we'll write this message that that means the user has won by this particular score. Just to avoid the negative sign, we are going to use the ABS function, which will keep only the magnitude and will avoid the sign. If you don't want to use this ABS function, you can write user score minus computer score, because here in this particular case the user score is bigger than the computer score. So you can write either ways, but here I am using ABS function. So I hope this particular section is clear to you all. Now pause the video and tell me what else can be the condition. Apart from these two conditions, we can have one more condition where the total score of user as well as the computer will be same. So that case will come in the else part, and if this situation arises, then we'll print this particular statement that it's a tie, and we can mention the score of the user. So I hope displaying the results part is clear to you all. Now let's try to take a tour of our code. Now after properly analyzing the code, I have found one small mistake over here, that in this particular condition, instead of writing the variable name as computer score, I wrote computer choice, as well as instead of writing user score, I wrote user's choice. So let's just change it, and now let's run the code. Here you can see we are in the terminal and I'm writing the command to execute the file. Here the name of the file is rockpaperscissor.py, and you can see the execution of the code has got started. As you know, in all there are 5 rounds. This is going to be the round 1. So here the user is asked to enter the choice. Let's say the choice is rock, and here the computer's choice is scissor. So as you know, whoever chooses rock from rock and scissor will win. And that is why +1 score is provided to me. Let's play round 2. Here I have chosen paper and the computer has chosen scissor. Here computer wins. That is why +1 score is given to computer. Next, in round 3, let's choose scissor. Computer also choose scissor. Here it's a tie. That is why +1 score is benefited to both the players. In round 4, let's choose rock. Here computer has chosen scissor. That is why +1 score is given to me. Now it's time for the last round. In round 5, let's say I choose rock. Here you can see computer has chosen rock. It's a tie. Both of the players has got benefited by +1 score. And also you can see after 5 rounds, results are displayed. My score is displayed, that is 4. And then the computer score is also displayed, that is 3. Clearly you can see 4 is greater than 3, that is why I won the match. Just to check everything is working properly, let's count the scores. And yes, it is correct. The computer score is 3 and my score is 4. And you can also see the statement is printed that you won by 1 score. So that is also working properly. So isn't this game very interesting? You can make changes in the code as per your choice. You can also add the functionality to play with multiple players. You can also make an UI for this and you can enjoy it. I hope everything is clear. If you guys have any single doubt, you can post it in the comment section. Also post your reviews and suggestions for this particular video. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon and don't forget to follow me on Instagram. Join me on my Telegram channel and share this video as much as possible with your friends. Thanks for watching. Have a good day ahead.